Are you wondering whether it's time to improve your communication skills? This video will tell you the answer. I'm going to share the 5 surefire signs that it's time to develop your communication skills, plus 3 easy ways to get started. I'm Jonathan Kahn. I'm a communication coach. I spent the last 10 years showing people how they can use the knowledge they already have to be more effective in the workplace. In this video, you'll learn to spot the 5 signs that show it's time to develop your communication skills. So let's get started. At different points in our career, we need to work on different things. So if you're wondering whether communication might be something you need to focus on right now, here is how to check. I'm going to show you the 5 signs that tell you that it's time to develop these skills, plus 3 simple things you can do right now to get started. Sign number 1, you've got a new job. This is the most common reason people have for getting in touch with me. When you have a new job, the culture may be different. You may be expected to do different things. It might be time to think about whether you can get better results by working on communication skills. You may have a new role. You may have to deal with different departments, different stakeholders, or different clients. Or you may have been promoted and now you're a team leader and have to mentor and coach junior staff. Sign number 2, you've received feedback. Now, you may have got feedback from a colleague about your communication. For example, hey, I think you should speak up more in meetings, or I think you should be more concise in meetings. Someone might have told you that your work is great, but you're being let down by communication. Sometimes this is new feedback, but for a lot of people, they've heard things like this before. And when they hear the same kind of feedback from the third person or the third company, they realize it's time to get started. Sign number 3, career progress has stalled. Early on in your career, communication isn't so important. You need to focus on learning the job, getting feedback, improving. As you get more senior, you spend less time shipping work and more time explaining, listening, understanding stakeholders, or getting buy-in for what needs to happen. And this requires a different skill set. If you haven't worked on communication skills before, you may find that senior jobs are out of reach. And this means it's time to develop these skills. Sign number 4, you realize it's holding you back. Are your technical skills advanced? Are you really good at what you do? Have you been doing it for a number of years? Can you explain your work to people without background knowledge? Do you get frustrated when you need to explain your work to management or people from different departments? If so, communication may be holding you back. Remember, communication is a skill. So if you haven't focused on this area before, if you've got really strong technical skills, then communication is a growth area for you. It's an opportunity for you to get more from what you already have. And often that also means career progression. Sign number 5, you keep putting it off. Now, is communication something that you've realized for quite a long time is not your strong spot? It's something that you could grow in, and yet you've avoided working on it. It's normal to feel discomfort at the idea of learning new skills, of having to get stuff wrong, of having to receive feedback, of having to change the way you interact at work. This is super normal. At the same time, if you've been putting it off, you may find that you make really quick progress, especially if you can focus on the area that will give you the most impact in your job. So if you've been putting it off, if you've had the feedback for a number of years, if you've realized it's something that isn't your strong suit, now is the time to decide to do it. You may be surprised with what you can achieve just by developing some skills, practicing and getting a little bit of feedback. This channel is all about the techniques, skills, and tricks you can use to make yourself more effective with the knowledge you already have through communication skills. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss a video. Here are 3 things you can start doing right now to develop your communication skills. Number 1, learn active listening. What is the most important communication skill in the workplace? Now, you might think it's about sharing what you know and public speaking. Now, those are very important skills, but they're not the most important one, which is listening. Listening gives you the ability to understand what's going on for someone else, whether that's your colleague, your CEO, or an audience out there in a conference. Listening lets you figure out what matters to other people. And this is the way that you're effective in communication, is by understanding what's happening for other people. And that all comes from listening. So the place to start is what I call the Swiss Army knife of communication. It's active listening. It's a technique that you can use to reflect back what you're hearing from somebody else, check that you've understood, and then build an immediate connection with that person, whoever they are, whatever the situation is. You can use it in meetings, you can use it in one-to-ones, you can use it when you get asked questions after you present your ideas. So check out active listening. It's really easy to get started. Anyone can do it. You do not need background knowledge about the topic because the person you're speaking to has all the knowledge. All you need to do is listen carefully, reframe in your own words, and then reflect back. So get started by learning active listening. Number 2, go on a course. A communication course will give you an overview of the skills and techniques, plus a bunch of tricks that you can use in any workplace situation to be more effective. A course is great for finding your strengths as well as your growth areas, as well as seeing a bunch of other professionals, how they communicate and where there are things you can learn from them or things where you already are doing a really good job. There are many courses available for communication, including low-cost options with recorded videos online. I run a live online training which happens via Zoom, which is where I'm there as a coach and there's a number of different students joining via video call. This is great because it allows you to practice a load of different things, work with a partner, get feedback and develop stuff in the workplace between sessions. Or the gold standard is a face-to-face course. The ones I run are in London and happen over 2 days with a very small group, but you can find them all around the world. And these courses really allow you to immerse yourself in the type of techniques and skills and tricks you need, and they let you understand which area you should focus on. So getting some direct coaching from a communication coach lets you see, okay, this is something I'm struggling with, but actually this area, if I focus on this area, I can make a big improvement. Whatever works for you, find a course and that will give you that overview of the skills that you need and where you need to focus. Number 3, find a communication coach. What a communication coach does is they can assess where you're blocked. We'll talk through what issues you're having, what outcomes you'd like to achieve, and where you are now. And really quickly, we can find out, okay, this is an area that you need to work on. This is the thing you want to happen. This is what's happening right now. So a course is general. We cover all the skills, but communication coaching is about you, what you need right now in the moment in your current role. With a coach, you can really unpack what's going on and where you're blocked, and then work at that area, focus on the things that will change that situation, and you can see really quick progress. The idea is to get input, try techniques, and then go back into the workplace and practice new ways, different ways of doing things, and then come back and kind of iterate in that way. If you're able to practice and come back to your coach and then maybe figure out what's happening, maybe refocus a bit, maybe try something else, then very quickly you'll find that the way you're communicating is changing and you're getting the outcomes you want much more often. So that was my 5 signs that you need to develop your communication skills, plus 3 ideas of how to start doing it. So I'd love to hear your experiences. What signs have you noticed that it's time to work on communication? And what ideas do you have for getting started? Please share that in the comments below. I'd love to see your thoughts and your ideas and what's worked for you. I hope you found that useful. If you did, please hit subscribe and then you'll get notified about future videos. I'm Jonathan Kahn, communication coach, and I'll see you next time.